Hi guys! In previous lectures, we almost all completed our HTML and CSS section. Now, in this lecture, we make a basic website using all our previous properties that we learn in CSS and in HTML. So first, I make a folder here and I name it website. Open it, and in this we have two files. First one, websites name.html and .css, two extension files, because we code here HTML and external CSS in different ways. So first I open this in our Sublime text editor. I write here Sublime and open our Sublime text editor and open this folder in the Sublime. So wait here till the open. Now our open here, and if I go to here file and open folder, and in open folder I go to back and website folder, select and select the folder. Now our website folder is selected. In this we have two files. So first one, if I write here, if I write here control N and save it with local disk, web development and website. Save the folder is, I name it website.html extension. We write here HTML code, and the second one I write here save it with website.css. You can use different names. I write it website.css and website.html, two files here. Now in website.html I write here our HTML code. So first I write here HTML, and if I click on enter, you see here all the basic structure of HTML is automatically in our Sublime text editor. So now in title I write here website with HTML and CSS, and after the title and above the title I write link here or CSS. For external CSS we talk in previous lectures, we link in our HTML. So I write here link, I write here link, and link here, if I click on enter, all the codes is automatically, that is the best in HTML and the best in Sublime text editor. So in href we write here the name of our CSS file. Our CSS file name is website.css. Sorry, I write here website.css. Save it. Now our CSS is linking with our HTML file. So in HTML, so first we make a navigation bar. So first I write open here website.html, our file, and now nothing is here because we have blank in our HTML. So first I write here, delete this, and I write here in HTML. First I write here navigation bar. For this I write navigation bar and comment it. That is the best use of code, because for years I open it, so that's tell me this is the navigation bar. This is easy for long project code. So in navigation bar I write here UL. UL stand for unordered list, that we in previous lectures. In unordered list we have a list item here. So list item, that's printed wrong, list item. And list item we have a tag that is for linking, because when we click on our navigation bar home page or about page, it link to a specific page. So for this we write here a arif, and in this we write the name of our page. So first I write here hash home, first one is our home page, and After this, I write here home. So I simple copy this line and printed it many times. I write here, sorry, that's okay. That's make a problem here. So I write here custom one by one list item, and in list item I have a tag with href names. Second page I write here services. That is our services page, and after this I write here services. Third one, I write simple li here, and in li I have a tag, a href, and in this I have a about page, and in this between closing a tag I write here about, and the fourth one I write here list items with a tag, and in href I write here contact page. That is our four pages websites with home, about, contact, and services. So I write here contact. So if I save it and reload in our browser, so now you see our four linkable words, that is home, about, contact, and services, are here. Now that is our basic HTML. We make it beautiful with CSS. So I go here, go to a website.css, that now our styling part. So I write here navigation bar code data separate from all the codes. That is our easy for us. So in navigation bar, first I write here UL tag, that is our underline. If I go to website.html, you see here the first one is UL tag. We first design it here. In UL, I write here first I remove the decoration. I write here list style type none. If I save it and reload here, so now you see that is our a dotted here that you see now remove with our list style type none. In the second for UL, I write here margin 0 and also a padding 0, that is by default and we will not use there. So if I reload it, so now you see they go to our most left, and margin and padding that initial are now removed. So that is our marginal paddings, and this for I write here background color, and I write here 333, that is a most likely gray, and width 100%. That's our complete width of our browser body. So now you see that is our complete width of 100%, and background color is black, almost gray. So that is our basic UL. Now we style our li tag that's in UL. So for this I go to here and write here li into a. That means our li tag in UL, our li tag, and in our a tag we design this home page, make it color white or anything. So in li and in our a tag we write here li, and in li our a tag we design it. So I write here first display block, that's our complete width. If I save it and reload, nothing has happened, that's in our further way. So after this I write here color white. I save it and reload. So now you see our color is white. Now we remove the underline from all these pages. So for this I write here text decoration none. Save it and reload. So now you see our underline is removed with text decoration none. Furthermore, we have a padding. I write here padding I write here 14 pixels from left to right and 16 pixels from top to bottom. If I reload it, so now you see our basic is here. So now I move it into a one line. That's our different line. We move it to a one line. For this, I simple go to li. I write here li and write here float left. Save it and reload. So now that's disappear. What happened? I simply this float left ul. Okay. I write here our flow hidden tag. Save it and reload. So now you see our tags is here and our pages home services about contact in the one line because we write here property our flow hidden to it in one line, that is the property use. So our flow hidden is here and all the pages is here, but I want these pages to the right section and here I want our website name. What would I do? I simply go to our website.html and in the first one I write here li and I write here a and I write here website dot html. I tell you what I write here and I write here with learn with easy. If I save it and reload, so now you see learn with easy here, but I want these to the right section and here I want this. So why I write here website.html? Because our website name is website.html. When we click on this learn with easy, all our website reload. So that is why I write here website.html in href link. So now if I go to here in this li, I write here style tag. Now we use our inline CSS, that is for one tag. So style, I write here float left. If I save it and reload, so now that is our left side, this is our left. But what would you do if I go to the right? I go to here website.css and for this left I write here right. Simple save it and reload. So now you see all the our pages menu are on the right side and our website name on the left side. But you see here their order can be changed. That starts on right, home, services, about, contact. For this to solve it, I simple change their position. That is our end. I go to here and the second one I here, about here and contact at the last one. So for this in the last one, if I move home here to the last one, I simple cut there and paste it the last one and also cut here and at the above of home page and cut here and after the contact. So that is our basic styling. If I save it and reload, so now you see our order can be changed. One thing, if I hover our mouse on here, I want to change their background color. For this, I write go to website.css and in I want here li and a. I want to change the hover of li into a. That means our home services and about section will change here. I write here hover. Hover means that we mouse on it, they change their specific color. I write here background color and I change it to the hash 85C1 E9. If I save it and reload, if I mouse hover on here, so you see their background color is now changed. I want to its color to black. Then I hover over it. The color of home is black. So I write here color black. Save it and reload. So now you see when I hover on it, its color is black, otherwise it's white. So that is our basic navigation bar is here. But you see here at the top of this bar, you see some spacing and left has also. For this, I go to at the top and write here body, and by default margins and paddings we see in last lectures have there. So now I remove this and reload it. So now you see this is our removes all our basic margins and paddings that is by default our browser. So that's we design our navigation bar. So if I want to change the font family, I write in body tag and font family, I write here sans serif. If I reload, so now you see our basic font family is now to sans serif. So that we design our navigation bar. Now after this we have to design home section. That is our main section. So I go to Sublime and in website.html. After this I comment here home section. So now you see that is a very benefit for us to understand our ease. So first, if I go to browser and you see here that is our main screen, and we have here a certain text, headings and paragraphs and buttons, and in the right side I have an image. So we make it into separate into two things that we use in grid. So in this section we use our grid that we see in our CSS section. So I write here div dot home and div dot home and tab. Oh, that's not working shortcut. So I write here simple div, and in div I write here class home. That is our main overall home class. In this we have two things. I write here div and id home left. That is our left section, and I simple copy it and paste it here. Yes, so that's not working actually. That's save changes. So I simple write here div and id home right. That is our two section, home left and home right. In home left I tell you that we have here a headings, a paragraph and a buttons, and in the right we have image. So for the left, first I write here left and I write here heading 1, that I write here h1, and id here home heading. You must use names of your IDs and classes relevant to your section. That is easy to understand. So I write here learn with az, and after this I have a paragraph tag and I write here id home paragraph. That is our paragraph, and paragraph, if I write here lorem, that's actually not work. I simple write here some explanation. Learn with az is platform to learn web development, digital marketing and software development. I simple this paragraph is here, and after this I have a button. So I write here input that we see in last lectures, input type btn or button, input type btn, and value I write here value learn more. If I save it and reload our section, so now you see that is our learn with az, and learn with az is a paragraph, and here is a heading, and that is our learn more button. If I write here button type button instead of btn, now you see clearly more, that is our button learn more. So first I go to here for styling. I write here id of button to home btn and home paragraph and home heading. So first I go to a design here, go to website.css, and after this navigation bar styling I write here home section, comment out hit, and shortcut of comment you can simply click control plus forward slash, that makes a shortcut of comments in Sublime. So if I write here first I write here home dot home, we use here dot home because classes are represented with dot in CSS and IDs are represented with hash. So that is our first class home. So we write here dot home in CSS, and I write here display grid. Now I write the second command grid template column, grid template columns, and this actually 40% left and 40% right. The rest of 20%, because width of screen is 100%, 40% plus 40%, 80%, and the rest of 20% we use here for space between around these left and right columns. So that is our 40% 40%, two columns here, and that I design our home page. Now in the second one we write here home left, that is our id. So that is our id, so we write here hash home left, that is our left section, and if I get it to background color black, save it and reload, so now you see our the left section 40% is here. So that is the basically a grid. So I simply remove this background color, and in home left I want position relative that we see in positioning in CSS, and from top I want it to 200 pixels. So if I save it and reload, so now you see that is our 200 pixels from top of the screen. So if I make it to 150 pixel, that actually better. So now our 150 pixels is here, and from left I write here left 100 pixels, save and reload. So now you see our this section from top positioning is 150 pixels, and from left we have a 100 pixels. Now we design this thing. So first I go to id of home heading, that is our id in our HTML. So first I write here font size, actually 40 pixels, that's better. Yes, that is better. 40 pixels our basic size of our heading, and Now I want to home paragraph, and in home paragraph I write here font size of 20 pixels. If I reload it, so now that is better. And I write here line height, that's between line height, I want it to 1.5 pixels. Save it and reload. Oh, actually we use here ramp, that is a better. So now our line height is 150 pixels, 1.5 rem, and our font size 20 pixels, so that is better. So if I want to change the color, no, color is better. So after this I want to button home btn, and actually we write here hash, that is our id, home btn. And if I write here font size 20 pixels, that is better. Font size 20 pixels, and background color I write here that we use in our this one. I simple copy it and paste it here. Sorry, that's a make a problem. I need to identify 85C1E9, that is our color code. If I save it and reload, now this is the background color of change. Now I remove the border. Border is simply that's a black around this. So border I write here none, save and reload. So now our border is removed. So I want to use padding. Padding here I want here 10 pixels better. So that is better, but we left right I write here 20 pixels. So that is much better. So if I want to change the font weight, I write here bold. So now that is a thicker than this. So the basic styling is here. Now I want to hover effect on this button, means when I hover over on this button, that is a home btn. If I write here hash home btn hover, I want to change the background. Actually I want to change the color white. Save it and reload. If I hover over it, you see here the picture color is changed now, but we use here cursor pointer. When our mouse hover on it, our cursor is to be pointer. So now you see here our cursor is now changed, that is a pointer of hand. So that is our basic styling of our left section we completed here. So in the right section we have an image. If I want one more paragraph, actually that looks better, I simple copy this paragraph. I actually want to change the spelling here because we write here learn web development, and that's better. A simple paragraph here. ID I use same because we have a same paragraph here, and in this I also want to learn with az is a platform to learn web development and digital marketing and software development. If I save it and reload, so now our two paragraph is here. That's look much better than other. So that is our left section is now designed. For the right section, we use here image. I already downloaded it here, but if you go to here and write here undraw.co/illustrations, so go to this website. This website is actually give us a beautiful illustrations that is a much better for web developers. So I simple copy anyone. I simple go to here and download svg file or an png. I think I download a png, that is a better for our project. So now that's now downloaded. So I simple go to our download section, to go download section, and here undraw.co, if I remove change the name of this, right here home.png, I simple cut it here and go to our development project websites and I paste it here. You can use another folder called images, and images we have every image in our images folder, that is a better. So first I get it to images, and our images in goes to this our images folder. That is a better way to sort our code and manage our directories and files. So go to here, and in the right section I write here images. So I write here image tag here, and src I write the name of home.png, that is our file name. If I save it and simply load, so our nothing is here. Actually what's happened, so if I go to here, oh sorry, we make it in our images folder, that is why that's not appear. So for this I simple go to our sublime, and in home I write here first images folder, that is our main folder. I write here images slash home.png, save it and reload. So now our images appear, but that is a bigger in size. For this we remove our size here. So first I write here width of 500 pixels, that's better or not, so that is better, and height 600 pixels, no that's not look better. I write it, if I write it by default of height, so what happened, save it and reload, so that is actually better. Now we want this section from this, so we use here home right. I go to here and our id is home right, and I change the position relative left. I write here 50 pixels from left. I want it to 50 pixels. I want it to more if I want 100 pixels. So more, because we want equal size from left and right. Actually I write here 200 pixels. That's now look better for this. Okay, that's good. Now this on the top we make it to equal all these two sections. So I write here from top to 100 pixels. If I reload, so now that looks actually better. That looks better because these are sections almost equal in size, and that's much better. So now we design our navigation menu and we design our home section. So now we design our services, that is our second page. For services section I go to here and I write here services section. So that is our services section. In service section, we have a three section. First one, second one, and the third one. So in this service section, we have three main services. That is web development, software development, and digital marketing. We make three cards. So first, if I write here div and class it to services, that is our service section of services. And in this services, we have a div, we have a heading. So I write here heading and ID of services heading, and I write here our services. After this, I make a three section. So first I write here div and ID of service section, and in this this is our main service section, and in this we have a three section. First one I write here div ID of web development, and the second one I write here div ID of software development, and the third one I write here div and ID of digital marketing. So that is our three section. In the first section we write here first image. So I write here image tag, and I have downloaded images in our images file. If I write here images and slash here, so first I write here wd dot jpg. That is our image name, that is a web development dot jpg, wd dot jpg. And after this I have a heading. So in this I write here h3, I want here h3 heading and id of service section heading. If I name it class, that is better, because we use here all these three section we use the same class. That saves us a lot of time. So after this I write here p, that is paragraph, and I write class here services service 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 section para. I simply write here para, and in this I simple go to here, and this service includes all the web development section and lectures. So after the paragraph I write here button. For this I write here input, that is our input tag. I write here input type button, and in name I write here blank, because names are basically used in our PHP files that we see in the later lectures. I write here value explore, that's our explore section, and I write here class service btn. So that is our service btn section. If I simple copy this, I simple go to here and copy all the inner content of web development and paste it here. So what happened? Website.html. Okay, so if I save it and paste it here, nothing happens. If I write here yes, okay, website has been modified, save changes, yes, no, yes. So that's are not understandable because what's happened with this. So but I write here from scratch here to first I write here image tag, that is our image, and in src I write here images slash. Now this is our software. I write name of file is our images sd.jpg, and after this I write here h3 and id of services section heading. I didn't know sorry class because we use same class for all of these service section headings, and I write here software development. In the upper one I also write here web development. After this I write here paragraph tag, and in paragraph I use a class service section para, and same thing, this service includes all the software development section and lectures. So that is a dummy text just to understand you how to solve these problems. I write here input tag and type here button, and in the value means that appear in our button. So explore is appear on this button, and I write here class of service btn. The same things I use for third one. I write here image src of images slash dm dot jpg, that is our file name or image name, h3 for headings, and class here service section headings, and I write here digital marketing. Okay, so now after this I have a paragraph, that is our paragraph, and I write here class service section para names, and this service includes all the digital marketing lectures. Okay, after this I have a simple button, that is input, and type here button, and after the value I write here value explore, and class here service btn. So if I save it and reload it here, so now you see all these service sections are here in a one line. Now we make it to better views in CSS. So if I go to here, I have a certain error because the last one is actually, that is a paragraph, and we write here that's p. Save it and reload. So now that's better. So first I use it here. I go to our website.css and I write here services section, and make it to comment. Okay, make it comment, and first I write here dot service, that is our first class of services. That service or services, let's clear this, that is services. So I write here services, and first I want a certain gap from top to bottom. That's, you see here there is no gap between these. I want a gap. We use a positioning. I write here position relative from top. I write here 100 pixels, and that is bigger. No, that's better. So now I want this our services is gap here. If I want to furthermore, or that's better, I want it to 130 pixels. That's a much better. If I save it and go to our browser and reload, so now that's much better. Now I use it in one line. We use here grid. That is the best responsive our layouts and a best of organizing these type of cards. So first, if I go to website.html files here, and our services section is now styling. Now I use the second one, that is a service heading. I go to here and I write here ID of service heading here, and text align to center. Save it and reload. So why this is not in center? I go to here. That is a services heading. Okay, that is a services heading. Save and reload. So now this is in our center of the screen. Now I want to use this customization. So I go to website.html and service section, that is our main class. That is our main ID of all these IDs. So that is a service section. I go to website.css and I write here ID of service section, and I make it to grid. So I write here grid display grid and grid template columns. I write it to 25%. That is total 75%. I write here 25%, 25%, and 25%. That is our three columns here. If I reload, so now you see this is in 25%, 25%, 25%, and the rest of the screen is our remaining, because we use it here for our gap or anything for our. So if I want it to 30%, actually 25% is better. That's good. We use the rest of screen for initial gap of these betweens and around of them. So now that is our section. If I go to here for the service section, our main class is here, and further one, if I use this here to service section and our web development, that is our first and second and third and last one. So now I want it to center of this. So if I use here justify content and space, these are three: space between, space around, and space evenly. Space between is between of these columns, space around is around of these columns, and space evenly is equal size of gap all of these. If I control R, reload it, so now you see equal gap of all these between and around of them. So actually that is better. If I use here space between, so now you see what happened. There is a only between of them. So if I use space around, that is around of them. So space around, that is around of them. I use here space evenly, that looks better than this. So that is a better way to do this. So Now I want to change of these. If I want here, I go to here, and after this I write here our web development. So if I go to here, that is our software development, that is our web development, and that is our class is digital marketing. So if I make another class here, class of section, that is simple section class, I want to use all of these same class section. And for web development I also use here class section, and for digital marketing I also use here class section. So that what is benefit of these, I use it simple one class to style all the cards here. So dot section, and I want here background color of white, actually not white, actually we have, wait, save and reload. So now you see all the section has now this background of wheat, but you see that is not fit in our this. I want to use it to width 100% of all of these. So I go to here and website.html, and in these I write here width of 100% and height of 200 pixels. I want all of these the same width and height. Width 100%, that means that's contain all the width 200 pixels. For this first one I use here width 100% and height 200 pixels. If I save it and reload, so now you see all the background cover that's in one card has a 100% screen, second and third one also has the same. So what's if I want to change this software developments and web developments, all these here. So if I go to here and I use here heading 3 class services section heading, I simple copy this. All these have same classes, so I write this once. So that's me problem. What is this? I don't understand yet. So if I write here dot service section heading, and I want it to font size 20 pixels, save it and reload. Okay, save it and reload. So now our font size is bigger. I want here some padding 5 pixels, save it and reload. So now our padding is 5 pixels. That is our this. For this we use our sections. For paragraph I write here services service section headings, and this type I write here para, that is our main class of paragraph. I want here font size of 10 pixels. If I save it and reload, that's a too small. I write here 15 pixels. Not that's, I write here 17 pixels. That looks better. Okay, that's better. And I use here line height of 1.5 rem. So now that's our line height. And I also want here paddings of 5 pixels. That's our heading. So now that is padding of 5 pixels. Now I want to design our button, that is explore. So for this I write here dot service btn, and I wanted to style here. First I write here font size of 20 pixels, save and reload. So now that looks better. And background color, I write here background color also. So now background color I use same one, that's I write here hash 85C1E9. So I write here hash is a color code used for color code 85C1E9. Save it and reload. So now all the colors have same changes at once, all the button style. This is the benefit of use classes, same classes. So I write here border and I want it to none, and you see here border is none. So what's now more is here, if I use here padding, I use here padding of 10 pixels. Save it and reload. So now 10 pixels. Now I want it to width 100%. That's complete the width of all these. So that looks better. I want here font weight bold. That's our bolding. Now dot service btn into hover effect. I want it to hover. I change the background. I change simple color to white. Save it and reload. So if I now hover over in it, you see here their color is changed to white. And one more things, cursor to pointer, and that's it. So now we design our services section. So the third one I use here about. For about, I go to here in website.html, and after this I write here about section. I simple comment out here, and in about section I use left side for images and the right side for our paragraphs. So I write here div. So in about section I write here a simple one. So first I write here div. Div is used for section, that is easy to understand. So if I write here class and about section, and in this class we have a h1 tag here that is used for our headings, and I write here about us, and in this I write here id about heading. After this we have certain section, that is first one I write here div section, and write here id of about left, and after this div and id of about right. So in the left one I use about sections. For left side I write here images, 3 images I use here, the same images that we use in our service section. I write here image, I write here image src wd.jpg, and for the second I write here img dm.jpg, and the third one I write here img and sd.jpg. That is our 3 images here. And in about right sections I write here first one h3 heading, and in this heading I use here a simple id of about us, and this one who we are. That is the heading who we are. And after this I write here a paragraph, that's id of about para. That is our about para. And in this, our web agency has many development projects experience from last 10 years. We make working on DM, SM and WD and SD. We have teams of experts. Okay, that's it. So that's our section. After this, I have a one more in the right side, that is a button. I write here input type button and value here. I write here more about and ID of about BTN. So if I save it and reload it here after this, so that is our section of this. Again, this is image error because we do not write here and images. After this, I write here images. That is our folder, images folder, and the same one for this images, also for this images slash. Now if I reload, so now that looks better. So that is behind this. We use here a simple section, that is website.css, and after this I write here about section and comment out at this, and I write here the first one. What is our first tag? That is about section. I write here dot about section, that is our main class, and I write here position relative, and from top I write here 200 pixels. If I reload it, so now that is from top 200 pixels below. So what we do this, I think we should have a 230 pixels from top. That looks better. Okay, so after this we have a about heading ID. I write here hash about heading, and in this I use a certain styling here. I write here text align center and font size 25 pixels. Actually go to a 30 pixels. So now our about us section is here and in center of this. Now I use these of images. So first I go to about left section, that is dot about left. I write here dot about left and make it to float left, means our about section is behind this. I use here about float left, and we have an ID. I use here ID not class and save it and reload. So now you see that is our right sections, all of these, and the left section we use these three images. I want to styling these images. So first, if I go to website.html, and here we have three images, I write here ID all of these. I write here img1. For the second, I write here img2, that means image 2, and the third one I write ID of img3. Now these are three images, that three IDs I go to here and first ID I write here hash img1, and I write here position relative, and from top 20 pixels and from left 30 pixels. That is for image 1. So now you see our image 1 from top and left to 30 pixels. I want it to more. If I write here 100 pixels, so now that looks better. Now for the second one, I use the same positioning but with different. Okay, that's not work. I simple hands on over here. That's why I forget. So for the second, I write here img2 and position relative, and from top 100 pixels and from left 50 pixels. Save it and reload. So now you see our second image from 100 pixels from top, and this from second I want it to 30 pixels from left. So that is our second image. For third, I also use this technique img3 and position relative, from top I use 100 pixels and from left I use 40 pixels. Save and reload. So now that looks better, but I want it to more left. I want here 10 pixels. Save and reload. So now that's, if I use here minus 100 pixels, so what looks like this. So that is on the upper of this, but I want it to more left. I want it to 300 pixels from left, more 400 pixels, and from top I write here 200 pixels. So now that looks better. So now I use their three images. If I move it to the left more, from top, if I write here 180 pixels, actually that looks better, that is on the top, and from left if I use 440 pixels, okay, so that's 440 pixels. So now that looks better. So now I use these images here, and from the right side now we design our this section. So for this, in about section I use here I use here from about us. So first I write here about right, and after this I write here about us. In about us, that is our ID of about us. I went to font size 25 pixels, save it and reload. So now that looks better. I want to change the color of the same that we use front of this 85 C1E9. So now that's our simple color here. Now I use here paragraph, that is for hash about para, and I want it to font size of 20 pixels and line height 1.5 rem, and I use the color of this to hash 333. Okay, hash 333. If I reload it, so now you see this is our hash 333, and for this now I use here more about section. Okay, go to our Sublime text editor again. Now in this I use our hash about ptn. Now I want to change the font size of 20 pixels and font weight bold and border none and background color. I use the same one, hash 85C1E9. Save it and reload. So now that looks this. If I want here padding 14 pixels from top and bottom and 16 pixels from left and right, so now that looks better. Now I use here for about sections in hover tag. I write here about para and make it hover. I change the color to white and save it and reload. About about btn. That's why not change, because this is a btn. And now so you see here this change. We use here cursor pointer. So now this is cursor now pointer. So that is our about sections we see here. The last one we use here contact. Now we make our last section of this website, that is contact us. So for this I go to a Sublime and I write here contact section. A simple comment out here, and the last one I go to here and write here div. Make a div with class name contact section, and in this I write here another div. I write here class h1 tag that is used for, and id here contact heading, and I write here contact us. So after this I write further more things. That first one, form. We use here form, and in form I write here form name, that is first one, label. Label is used for labeling our name. So label for, I write here first name, that is f name, and I write here first name. After this I write here input type text, and in name I write here f name, and id also f name, and value here, not value, I write here placeholder, enter, please enter first name. For the second one I use here label for l name, that is last name, and I write here last name. After this I write here input type text, and in name I write here l name, that is last name, and id also l name, that is last name, and I write here placeholder, that is in between text search bar, that please enter your last name. So after this, I write here one more that is label for a selecting option that is different countries. So I like a label for country, and in this I write here country. After this we have a certain option that is used for select. So first I write here select, not section, select. I write here select, and after this we write here option, and in option I write for value Pakistan, and write here Pakistan. For the second one I also use here option value USA, and I write here USA. And the third one I write here option value India, and in this I use here small USA, and I write here value, not class. So I write here India. So now I have a three these columns. So we use here one more thing, that is ID country. So that's ID country here. And the last one we have a submit option, that is input, that is our input type submit, and in the value, not clause, there is a value of submit. If I save it and reload our page, so now you see contact us with first name last name is behind the about us, because we use here positioning, that is why that problem occurs. So we handle this by simple go to first I write here contact section, that is our first class name, that is our contact section. So our first class name, that is contact section. I go to website.css and write here dot contact section and simple position relative, and from top to 200 pixels. Save and reload. Actually we make one more time. I write here 400 pixels. Actually that looks great. We have 430 pixels. That's much better. So actually that looks great. Or we increase it to 450 pixels. Okay. So now this is our contact section, and we write here hash contact heading here, and in this we use here text align to center and font size to 30 pixels. Okay. So now that's our center and font size is 30 pixels here. Now we actually design this our code here with input types and forms. So okay, that's our, so in first I write here input, and in these brackets I write here type is equal to, and in type I write here text, and select tag here, that is used for shortcuts. Means instead of we use a different search name with a different IDs and write codes and write CSS styles for everyone, we use this shortcut in this. Means that input type, that type is text, we change the styling here. So I write here width. First I write here width of 100%. If I save it and reload, so now you see all the text has width of 100%. So for this we use here width 100%, margin 8 pixels and 0 pixels. From left and right 8 pixels and from top to bottom 0 pixels. So now that's see here. And the third one I write here padding 12 pixels from top to bottom and 20 pixels from left and right. So refresh here. So now you see our padding is increased inside these texts. So display inline block, that is in inline and in block section. So now you see here for the third one I write here box sizing, that is border box. So now that width is a completely manageable. And furthermore I write here border 1 pixel solid and color is HCCC, that is almost a white. So that's it. Now we move on the, so now that's our basic styling here. And if we change for more things here, paddings, border, box sizing, display, padding, margin, width. Now I use a submit button. I write here input and same use here type, and in type of is equal to submit. And after this we use here width also 100%, margins here 8 pixels, 0 pixels, and paddings also here 14 pixels, 20 pixels from top to bottom and left to right. And we use here border none. Save it and reload. So now that's our basic styling of our here. We change it the background color to light blue. If I save it and reload, so now light blue color is here, and the color of button white, and the font weight to bold. Okay, so now in our first context section I want to decrease the width. I use here width to 500 pixels. Save it and reload. So now our width is 500 pixels, and actually we use here box sizing, border box, that's manage our width according to their size. And I write here position relative, and from left if I use here 200 pixels, now that looks better. I want to change it to more, I use here 400 pixels. So now that's in center of the screen. So if I click on it, there is a many of these. Now that's it. I want to change this into a section of text align to center of our button. Now text align is center and I want to change the font size to bigger. Font size here I want here 30 pixels. No, that's a bigger. I want here 20 pixels. That looks great. Yes, that's great. Now our submit button is here. If I click on it, you see here an outline is here. We simply remove this by writing here outline none. Save it and reload. So now if I click on it, now our outline is none. But one more things, I want to change the hover effect. So I simply write here input type is equal to submit and make it hover cursor pointer and one more things I change it to okay color black. When I hover on it, this color is black. So if I hover over it, if I reload it, nothing happened. What? I change it to input type submit. Okay, that's problem here. Simple reload it. What the hell is this? If I go to submit and change it to here, and now if I reload it, submit our spelling is true, type submit, I write here name. Now if I refresh, now our styling is changed and everything is working fine. So that is our the basic styling that we learned in our previous lectures of HTML and CSS sections. We simply implement all of these here. So one more thing, if I click on it, so you see here I on top of the page, but if I click on it, nothing is changing. I want, if I click on service, this go to our service section. If I click on about, this goes to about sections. If I click on contact, this goes to contact section. For this, we use here ID. In every front of these, we use here IDs. In this HTML, you see here, we use here hash contact, hash about, hash href. That is our link. For this, we use here div, make a simple div and ID of home. Same ID that we use in a link, that is a hash home. Hash stands for we represent here IDs. So we write here home in this home section. After the home section, we have a services section. In service section, I write here the simple make a div and make the ID of services that we use here. I write here services, so I use here services. The third one I have about us. I simple the same process that we about and ID of about that we write in this section here. In this I write here about, and the last one I have a contact, that if I go to here and write here div and ID of contact, if I save it and reload, now if I click on home, this is our home page. If I click on services, this is our services page. If I click on about, this is our about page. If I click on contact, that is our contact us page. But this is certainly changed. If I click on services, that is services. If I about, that is about. I wanted to smooth scrolling. So for this, I use here website.css, and at the top of the CSS file, I write here HTML, that is our root element of all these. Root element means that is our basic at the top of these. This is our HTML, that is our root of all these HTML structure. I write here scroll, behavior, and smooth. Simple is that. Save it and reload. So if I click on home, that is our home. If I click on services, that goes now smoothly scrolling. If I click on contact, you will see here that is smoothly scrolling to contact. If I click on about, that is smoothly scrolling to about. So if I click on learn with easy, that is simply reload whole websites. But what would you do if I click on contact? That now our navigation bar is disappear. If I click on about, our navigation bar is disappear. You learn in the last lectures of position, we see the type position fixed. That is the main reason we use it here, because we see further here. If I go to here and in the UL I write here position and fixed. If I save it and reload, so now you see our position is fixed. If I click on contact, that is our contact page, but that is upper of these. This about content is on the top of this section. So what would you do for this? You go to here and write here z index. Z index is used for upper level, means if I want to increase the priority of this navigation, I use here 1 or 2 anythings. So if I write here 2, that is the priority bigger than this content. So if I click on services, that in services, about and contact, our contact page, home is our home page, about is our about page, and smooth scrolling. And now this is our fixed position. Our navigation bar is fixed. So if I contact, that's your contact. If I continue to learn with easy, now this is on the top of the page and it's reload the whole the websites. One problem is here, if I click on about, that is about. If I click on contact, that is not on the contact. For this, if I go to here and website.html and the contact page, I write here at the bottom, I want to change this. I write here hash contact and position relative top 500 pixels, save and reload. If I click on about, that is about, contact, that is contact, simply that is still better. If I go to a 800 pixels and reload. So now if I click on about, that is about. If I click on contact, that is contact section. That should look might better, and go to practice them. This is our simple websites that we learn in these previous lectures. So here we end this lecture. Please like the video and subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching, and do not forget to like this video because I am very hard working on this. Thanks for watching.